The Gout Gout situation has been a thing in the sprinting world for some time now, because whenever he hits the track, I make it my business to pay attention. Because I care about what you care about. But this time I was caught off guard, because I woke up in the morning and I found out that Gout Gout had already run the 100 meter dash at the Australian U20 championship meet. To clarify, I expected him to run this weekend, but I only expected him to do it at the Australian Senior Championship meet, specifically in the 200. And yes, that is going to still happen. But he ran the 100 with the juniors. And then he did what Gout Gout does. He ran 9.99 seconds twice, both of which were wind aided, but the one he ran in the final was with 2.6 meters per second, which is still a windy time, but a lot closer to the legal limit than most people care to admit. Anytime that an athlete breaks 10 seconds in the 100, it is a big deal. But when Gout Gout does it, it's an even bigger deal, at least when you look at it, because he's way out in front of the race where really nobody is challenging him. Remember, Gout Gout is officially a professional athlete now. He's signed with Adidas. And when he ran on the Continental Tour just a few weeks ago, he was wearing his Adidas kit. But when he showed up to the under 20 event, he was wearing his Queensland uniform, perhaps just because he was running with the juniors, so maybe the Adidas kit is coming out soon. But fundamentally speaking, the way my brain processed all of this is, what does this performance actually mean? Because remember, I just saw Gout Gout run in a professional race in a 200, where nobody in that race had a PR that was faster than his 3 best times essentially run immediately before that meet. And he still lost. In fact, the man who actually got the victory had one of the slowest 200 meter PRs of anybody in that field, at least before the gun went off. So simply put, in the sport of track and field, specifically when it comes to sprinting, your time will not save you. The lanes on a track do not care how fast you've gone in the past, especially if you did it by yourself. Because the only way you get medals in this sport is you actually gotta run faster than all the people in the other lanes. But the problem every single fast junior athlete faces is that most of the time, nobody in the other lanes has even a prayer of beating them. And that does appear to be true when Gout Gout runs in Australia. But I'm not based in Australia. I am based out of America, where I'm the guy who does the high school national recruit rankings to help determine which athlete is really the best across every single event. But when it comes to the sprinters in the year 2025, we kinda already know who the fastest kids actually are. So let's have a real conversation about how Gout Gout actually compares to the other fast boys in the world. I ain't even talking about the whole world, to be honest. I'm just focused on America, the kids who run for the high schools at this exact moment. Because Gout Gout is technically a professional, which means he's not gonna see any of these kids, because the ones I'm about to describe, they're all supposed to be running in the NCAA next year. And because they run for America, I have absolutely no expectations that they're going to be wearing the red, white, and blue at the World Championships this year or even in the coming years. Because you already know who they're going to have to go through if they want in on that team. And I also understand that the 200, at least at this moment, does appear to be Gout Gout's best event. But the 100 is really where we hand out the title of the fastest man in the world, or in this case, the fastest teenager anyway. So we're only going to focus on the 100 right now. To put this all in perspective, let's first go over just how fast Gout Gout's actually gone in the 100. He went 9.99 seconds with a plus 2.6 wind. That is incredibly fast. Remember, breaking 10 is a big deal when you are a junior. But last year in America, we saw Christian Miller. He broke the 10 flat barrier multiple times. 3 times that I can remember offhand. And each time he did it, it was wind legal on the readings. But he is now a professional athlete himself and will have to fight it out to make Team USA. So who knows if he'll ever see Gout Gout at the Worlds, because as I've already told you, you're gonna have to go through some other fast guys in order to pull that off. But for the kids who are in high school right now, because Gout Gout just ran in a under 20 championship, he's more or less running with school kids. So let's just compare him to the school kids who are running in the 100 outdoors this season. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. At the top of the list are two names, and it all starts with Brayden Dashun Williams, who ran 9.99 seconds in the 100-meter dash, and he did it with a plus 2.6 wind. I'm not making this up. It's the exact same time with the exact same reading that Gout Gout gave us. And yes, that did send shockwaves around the internet. He's a 5-star recruit in the class of 2025 who's committed to compete for the Georgia Bulldogs, where he might dominate the NCAA next year, but then again he might not, because a whole bunch of fast athletes from the rest of the world, even if Gout Gout isn't one of them, are going to be there in the NCAA to compete against him. So just being the fastest in America doesn't really mean that much when you get to the NCAA anymore. But there's another name on the board that has already put out an incredibly competitive time in the 100-meter dash. It's Maurice Gleaton Jr., who ran 10.01 seconds just a few weeks ago. When he did it, there was a plus 2.3 wind on it, which is a little bit less than what Gout Gout and Brayden Dashun Williams saw themselves. And ironically, he is also committed to run for the Georgia Bulldogs next year in the SEC Conference. This is the reason why I say that the SEC Conference is basically professional track and field disguised as college athletics. Both of the young men I just mentioned have won junior-level national championships in the 100-meter dash, just like Gout Gout. Remember, the biggest difference between them is they compete in America, and he competes in Australia. What Gout Gout is looking at going forward in his career is a very unique situation, because since he competes for Australia, he has a much easier path to represent the nation at the World Championship level and beyond. He's also not planning on running in the NCAA at all. So the fast kids I just mentioned are pretty irrelevant, even though they're really on the same level when it comes to the 100-meter dash. Almost exactly. In Gout Gout's situation, the only athletes that are really going to matter to him are the ones he's going to meet at the World Championship level. The 3 men, or sometimes the 4th depending on a wild card, whom Team USA actually sends over there. All the other fast Americans are irrelevant, because you ain't got to go through them. But the most complicated aspect of all of this is that Gout Gout is now running in between 2 worlds. The only other athlete who might kind of understand what he's going through is Quincy Wilson. But the difference is, he has not officially declared himself as a pro, because at least at this moment, Gout Gout competes against professional runners and is associated on that side of the ledger. But he's still also going out there with juniors and dominating in those fields. But that is what you're supposed to do. It's why you even get on the radar to become a pro to begin with. So when Gout Gout runs this weekend, specifically in the Senior Championship 200, I will be paying attention, because I actually want to know what he's going to do. And I know you also care about it as well. And as far as I can tell when I look around the internet, the Gout Gout hype train has officially left the station. The only question is, where is it taking us? And trust me, I am inclined to get on the bandwagon, at least to some level. I just still want to do it with a degree of context, because Gout Gout is incredibly fast. He's just not the only fast junior who's out there right now. And we really can't afford to forget it, because greatness always takes time to develop. And by the way, for those who are in the comments who say that I or anyone else is mispronouncing Gout Gout's name, that might be true. However, it's just not the whole story. Because remember, Gout Gout went on the Beyond the Records podcast with Noah Lyles and Grant Holloway, and they asked him, how is it that he wants people to say his name? And he told us that Gout is the way to say it. So from this point on, I'm going to respect what the man said, because the Gout Gout situation is still a situation, and yes, I am paying attention. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your Fast is a Lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like, and subscribe.